Hello, eRank, and welcome back, Starla. But yeah, Starla's just been stuffing her face trying to get some food down.
It's worth it, guys. Do you see this green that's taking place back here?
So on brand, yep.
It means that I'm doing something very important for you guys. But because of that, I didn't have time to eat. So I might eat some of my food while Pam's
I'm
letting you guys
sure
know what we're going to
nobody
talk about.
minds. Yeah. So, guys, welcome to our Thursday Q&A. This is going to be our second summer of social weekday, whatever, where Starla is going to take us all through Instagram for the Etsy seller. If you missed it, what was it, about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? We had a great live on Pinterest, which you guys all seem to love. So, yeah, Starla's going to take on from that and teach us all about Instagram. And hopefully we'll have some loads of questions from you all. But if you don't worry. I'm here with all the dumb questions because I am awful on Instagram. Like, yeah, I think I've got about 5 photos of my dogs and a few photos of some of my felts, and then I'm sitting back going, why am I not getting views on Instagram? So maybe Starla can help me with that as well.
Yeah. I mean, Instagram, for me, it's always been my favorite social media platform for creators, just because you have a lot of expressiveness there that you don't have on other platforms, aside from maybe Pinterest. But Pinterest obviously is as you learned during the live stream with Michelle, is the primary driver of traffic to Etsy. The reason I like Instagram, though, is you're able to form those really intimate connections with your customers, and you have multiple options for posting. Now, I will say that in recent years, there's been a dramatic shift in terms of the engagement that I see on TikTok versus Instagram. I just started another new product-based business, and I created both a TikTok and an Instagram for that account. And I'm getting, 100 something views on an Instagram reel, where I will get several thousand on a TikTok. But I still like Instagram because there are a lot of capabilities there that I feel like we miss out on with TikTok. And I think a lot of people are more likely to fall off the wagon when it comes to TikTok, simply because that consistency is important. At least with Instagram, if you don't have a day where you can sit and record, a video and upload it, you could still just post a photo and that'll be just fine. That you're still feeding the algorithm and giving it some content. Whereas with TikTok, you have to constantly post that short form video content. And that's still important for Instagram, but it doesn't need to be the only thing you post. So if you like short form content, I still highly recommend joining TikTok. The great thing about the videos that you create for both TikTok and Instagram is they're completely recyclable. You can, take the video you made for Instagram and put it on TikTok and put it on Pinterest and, maybe even YouTube Shorts. Or I think that Twitter allows for videos as well, though, I don't see very many Etsy sellers having successful Twitter accounts. However, if you're using a scheduling platform, something like Later, or I'm a big fan of Metricool, there's no harm in casting that that nice wide net and hitting as many of those social media platforms as you possibly can, because it's just one click. It's not like you're wasting any additional time. If you've got the account, even if you don't see a lot of engagement from a platform like Twitter or like TikTok, if you've already got the content and it only takes one click to schedule it, then it's not like a huge time suck to be able to do that, which is why I still post on platforms like Twitter or X. Even though I personally, I don't even know the last time I logged on to Twitter or X.
Yeah, I don't think I've been on X since it became X. So for now, in fact, for decades before that, pretty much not for political reasons, just because I didn't get it. Like, I didn't enjoy being there, so there was no point. I have to say, everyone's loving your shirt style. Yeah, that's definitely your color. I think you look so sophisticated today.
It's because I did the bump in my hair. I was told that it's a very millennial hairdo, so I quit doing my hair like this because apparently it's showing my millennial, but I don't care. Let's
Exactly. Yeah. Let's stop fighting about generations. Do what suits you, and it definitely suits you.
see. I use popular music for almost all of my reels. Is it a bad idea to promote a specific listing with a share and save link in our stories? Not at all. Absolutely. Put that share and save link everywhere. That's why Etsy gives it to us. If somebody's going to make a purchase in your Etsy shop, absolutely use your share and save. And thankfully with our stories, we have the links sticker that will allow us to direct link. Whereas, we don't really have that capability when it comes to static posts and things because links are not active, which is one of the most common mistakes that I see Etsy sellers make when they make a post on Instagram. They'll try to pop their link into the Instagram caption and links aren't active in Instagram captions. And nobody, no person on earth is going to sit and try to type in your entire etsy.com/shop/blah, blah, blah/listing ID, blah, blah. Nobody's going to do that. Let's see. I just realized Starla's the Irish flag today. I did not realize that, but I guess it is, especially since I'm so pale. So I think that the way that I'd like to start this is, can you guys, this is probably going to be a mistake. Can you guys toss me one of your Instagram accounts, your Instagram handle, please, business related, same rules as usual. Try to avoid submitting if you've got like some product copyright infringing, even if you're not listed on Etsy. I have a lot of people who are like, but with Instagram, it's not listed on Etsy. Like that. It's not Etsy's rules, it's the law. So let's see. In the USA, there is possibly a new TikTok app coming. I hear things like that all the time. I think it's going to take, obviously it happened with Vine. We went from Vine to Musical.ly to TikTok. So it could happen, but it's almost like, people holding out for a new Etsy. Like we have Etsy alternatives like Go Imagine and Folksy. Folksy is UK exclusive?
Yep, only for UK sellers. People can buy from all over the world, which I wish they'd sort that out, but yeah.
Yeah, so there's always alternatives, but I think that unless, I don't know, it could happen, but I think it's going to take a really big push for it to happen.
Yeah, it seems to happen less. Like back in the early days, new sites, new things were always coming up, but now new things are happening, but they're not going massive. Like Threads appeared. It's still there. Jessica does amazing on Threads for the eRank account, but is it huge? There's all these social medias that have come and gone and nothing's blowing up the same. I think TikTok's probably here to stay for a bit at least. Yeah. And Instagram is definitely here to stay for a good while.
Oh yeah. And Instagram recently introduced an editing app to rival CapCut, which is TikTok's editing app. I've utilized both. I still gravitate towards CapCut. I feel like there's a lot more capabilities in there. But I did notice the first time that I posted a reel on Instagram utilizing their new app, it's called Edits. I'm sure if you just search Edits by Instagram, you'll be able to find it in the App Store. But what I noticed is that when you directly post that reel to Instagram, you have an option after you've edited it while you're still in the Edits app to click a button that says, post to Instagram. And that reel initially got a little bit more visibility. And I think that it's because Instagram is like, oh, good, you're using our thing. We want to reward you for using our thing. And now it's been a few weeks that it's been out, or a few months, I guess, and I'm not seeing the same, traction. So keep an eye out. Same with Threads. When everybody first joined Threads, the engagement was fantastic because it was a new thing. And I think that, Instagram really wanted to feed us some dopamine and say, yes, good job. Here's some engagement. Here's a new audience. And now, things are kind of quieting down.
Instagram's pretty famous for that, isn't it? When it started doing reels, they were huge because they pushed them everywhere, and then, or whatever they call it, is reels, isn't it? Mm-hmm. I can't remember. Yeah, so anytime Instagram releases anything new, jump on it because they're going to push it a little bit to see if it's working.
Okay, so is it going to share my entire screen, or is it going to?
If you open it in a new window, you can share the window.
Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Perfect. Okay. So I went ahead and just pulled the first submission from the chat, which was Heather. Let's see. And then, okay, I'm good, Pam.
Good to share. Okay.
There we go. Okay, so I'm logged into one of my alternative accounts for my new business, Heather, because I am actually following you on my Handmade Alphas account. But I'm going to use you as an example today. I'm not doing, well, I might critique a little bit, but for the most part, I just want to give everybody a basic outline when it comes to how you should lay out your Instagram account. I selected Heather because she's been in my community for so long. She already knows exactly what I'm going to say. Hi, Mr. Moore. She already knows exactly what I'm going to say. So I think that she, has probably already executed the things that I think are most important. So the main thing that I see a lot of sellers doing wrong when it comes to their Instagram accounts is incorrectly using what is labeled as your name when you edit your Instagram account. And you can only, I believe you can only do this from mobile. Maybe I'm wrong. But when you are on your actual Instagram page, just like this, you should have an edit button up here. And there will be a section within, editing there where you can add your link. And if you've got a threads handle, but there's a section called name. And it's this right here. And a lot of people say, oh, my name, first and last name. They use their business name is their username, but then in the name part, they put their real name. That, if you're an influencer or someone like me where they're searching for Starla Moore on Instagram to find my account, it's a little bit different. But what you really want to utilize this area for is SEO. This is a highly searchable area that not only Instagram is going to use to, help you connect with the right types of people, but it's also going to help customers very quickly understand, or followers very quickly understand what your page is about. This is one of the strongest signals that we can give overall to the Instagram algorithm. So we want to make sure that we're using terms that Instagram is going to be able to connect with audiences. Now, another mistake that I commonly see is people, when it comes to keyword optimization on Instagram, they focus a little bit too heavily on the actual items. So they'll say, mugs, I don't know, cat mugs, shirts, I don't know, lamps, whatever. They focus on items. We have to remember that Instagram is not a shopping platform. It's a social media platform. It's not a big catalog. So when it comes to Instagram being able to connect you to the most interested type of person who's most likely to follow you, you have to think about the type of content that those individuals are posting and how Instagram is going to tie them to you. So on Etsy, it's a little bit easier because Etsy's algorithm knows that people are there to shop and they're there to connect with products. Whereas Instagram, it's more about the styles, aesthetics, and the type of person, the target audience that's most likely to connect with your ideal product. So for Heather, for example, I think that having lampwork glass in here actually is great for her because I know that there are a lot of individuals, even fellow, lampwork and blown glass artists who like to follow, and still make purchases. So I still think that this is a great keyword. But if you're selling things for, we'll say, pet parents, rather than saying collars, leashes, and dog bowls, it might be better to say, cool things for pet parents, because the Instagram algorithm is more likely to tie you to pet parents than it is someone specifically searching for collars and bowls, because that's just not what people are on Instagram to do. So think about the type of person. If you're selling tie-dye shirts, maybe you make sure that you put things about hippies and music festivals and things like that in this little tagline. You also have your actual bio section, just being mindful that it does get cut off. Most people are not going to see the area that is cut off. If I refresh, there we go. So where it clicks to see more. I personally like seeing sellers who add in little emojis and things like that to make these sections pop. Heather, might be cool for you to add. There are little mushroom emojis and things. It does add those little pops of color. And then you also have your link right here where you can add multiple links. Obviously, you want to make sure that your shop is front and center wherever it is you're sending them, whether it be a standalone website, a Go Imagine store, or your Etsy shop. Just make sure that that is front and center for them. So scrolling down, you'll notice that Instagram changed their aspect ratio, changed their aspect ratio a few months ago. They are now called portraits as opposed to square images. So in the future, just making sure that you're scaling in on these images, making sure that you are being mindful of where things are cutting off. If you're utilizing something like Canva, making sure that you're utilizing their new portrait template to scale these a little bit better. Heather, I think I've told you this in the past. I think that your product on their own would do so much better without all of the text and things. Letting photos speak for themselves is huge on Instagram and allowing them to breathe. Some of the most popular glass artists that I see on Instagram, I wish I could pull them up, but I think that they all make 420 themed glass products as well. So I don't think I'd be able to show them on YouTube. But with that in mind, they have huge followings. We actually have someone in our family who does blown glass necklaces lampwork necklaces and different products. And they have thousands and thousands and thousands of followers, and their pieces go for like $5,000. But their photos are all just featuring that item. So allowing, the photo is doing the speaking. It's show, don't tell. You don't need to tell me that it's a unique glass mushroom pendant. I know that. You don't need to tell me about vibrant colors. I see that. Instead, just doing a nice big zoom in, not utilizing these collage photos, and instead using a carousel that allows you to scroll through those images organically. I think that each of these images, for example, could be their own very strong standalone. Just again, making sure that you're adjusting to the new aspect ratio. Looks like you haven't posted anything in a while.
And we actually looked at her shop last week, if anyone's missed it. But so I know some of these pendants are glow in the dark. The mushrooms and that. So show us this.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a great opportunity to connect with your ideal customers rather than just showing me what you have. You have your customers or your followers' ears, right? They are highly invested in checking you out and learning about you. They are not just here to look at a catalog of products. I would love to see more photos like this. Show me the behind the scenes. Show me some videos. Show me, like, how is this made? You're telling me that it's unique and there's colors and that it's flame worked with love, but I want to see you actually do that. I want to see, the work that goes into it, because that to me makes me more invested in buying the product. I'm more willing to spend money.
Watching glass work is amazing. And Kat said earlier on, she has her Instagram so people can see that she's the real person behind it. Yeah, you're making this glass stuff. Show us it. I think I said the same thing last week, because I blooming love glass work. I think it's fascinating to see all that. So yeah, show us some more of that.
This doesn't feel like a very human title. It feels like Etsy SEO. And obviously that's not what you want to do to form a human connection. While you've worked to keyword optimize it, if you're not seeing engagement from people who follow you or, people who stumble across you organically, it doesn't matter how well optimized this is. That engagement is extremely important to actually get this photo out to more people. So again, being mindful about your backgrounds. I think going outside, you put your phone into portrait mode so that the background is a little bit blurry and the thing that is front and center is crisp. And then just having some like grass in the background where you're holding it in your hand, or some trees, or a little bit of sky. I think that
could create a festival in the background. Yeah. Go to a festival and take your pendants.
I think there's so many cool things that you could do there. But again, tell me a story about why I should care. If I saw this, I would glance at it and then bounce right back away. Like, tell me what inspired it. Put a little bit of time into the process of writing these. I think I'm going to stop sharing for a minute, and then I'll pull somebody else from the chat.
Yeah, there's a few people talking about the ratios on Canva and stuff. And guys, Canva does offer all the aspect ratios, but you can also put in custom aspect ratios, and you can change the aspect, you can change the size of pre-existing templates that you're already using if you have the pro version of Canva. So I think it's definitely worth it to upgrade, to pay, to change all your posts. If you've got some templates that you've been loving, get in them, change the size.
Oh yeah, it's the what's it called? Magic resize.
Yeah.
The magic resize button.
That's definitely worth it. Especially, it's not just Instagram. I mean, Etsy's changing. It's experimenting with different aspect ratios. So yeah, it's always good to be looking at different, how your photographs are going to be seen in different places.
Okay, so I'm trying to find somebody who gives like an exact example of what I'm looking for, and maybe that's not how I should have went about this. Sorry guys, I'm trying to go through.
If you tell us what they need to have done wrong.
I'm being very, very particular of what you know what? I've got a better idea. I will pull up a major brand that I know has a fantastic Instagram account. Not that you all aren't perfect, however. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I will share my screen. Share. Okay. Good to go. And this is the brand that has the necklace that I'm wearing, but I also just bought Mark a watch for our upcoming anniversary from this brand. I'm selecting this one just because I think that they're one of my favorite brands when it comes to their marketing. So, Holzkern Watches, they create watches with wood and stone and things. They expanded out into jewelry a couple years ago, and handbags and sunglasses. But a couple of things that you'll notice right away, obviously they're not optimizing their name because they're a major brand. Most people who follow them or are familiar with them know what they specialize in. But they do have, very brief and cheery what they're all about. They've got those emojis in there. And they also are encouraging the use of specific hashtags. Now, I will say that hashtags are not as important as they used to be. Adam Mosseri, the CEO of Instagram, actually recently revealed that hashtags do not have any weight on the algorithm anymore. It's more about keyword optimizing your captions. Now, you should still put, 4 to 5. Sometimes I'll experiment with 7 hashtags if you can get them in there and make them look clean. But don't worry too much about it and don't hyper focus on it. It's so much more meaningful to write a caption that triggers a response or an emotion. So when we scroll through, let's see.
I suppose hashtags could help them be able to see their customers, like make a community to be able to find out what people are wearing their stuff. That might be why they're asking that way.
Yeah. So carousels, I had mentioned those previously, but I couldn't find in the shops or the accounts that I was looking at, I didn't see anybody using them. But this is an example of a carousel. In my experience, carousels are significantly better in search just because they have an engagement queue. People are going to want to scroll through them. There are really great templates for these right in Canva, but you can make all kinds of really cool stuff with them. But this is what I mean.
That was a really cool example of the show Don't Tell as well. What are the people that should be wearing this? Where are they wearing it? You've got real lifestyle things there.
Right. And at first, it's not all about like buy, 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 buy. You see little glimpses. So her necklaces are what's for sale, but you're getting an idea of the ideal target customer. Like Pam said, what they might look like. This is kind of, Heather, what I was talking about of blurring that background, but having a natural element in the background. Just these little touches of product to give a feeling, an overall emotion to tie to the products themselves.
Yeah. Oh, I just want to pull this one up quickly. And Pixel saying YouTube is still very hashtag based, so I took that strategy to Insta. We're going to do YouTube next week, but YouTube has never been hashtag based. They've done hashtags, they didn't really work. But I'll go into that next week. But yeah, YouTube is not hashtag based. It tried it because it was trying to copy Instagram.
Yeah, I don't know very many people who even, I use I think the limit is 3 hashtags for YouTube videos, and I do it, but I don't notice any difference from when I do it versus when I don't. But little things, little glimpses. I really love when it comes to jewelry, especially.
Oh, that's pretty. Yeah.
Images, color palettes, things that inspire your designs. And then think about captions that can go with this. 4 watches, 4 moods. Which one feels most like you? So it's you've got like who each of the watches that they're showcasing are for. And it adds a point of interest because somebody wants to go, they'll go through and they'll say, oh, which one defines me? I'm calm yet curious. I absolutely love their business model. They're so creative in the posts that they make. I constantly reverse engineer and go through and, just explore the different photos and things that they post. But, this to me is an example of a fantastic account. It's well balanced between product and ideal target customers. The captions are top notch. If you go through, you can always see different keywords in here. Moons, moon, dial of your wristwatch, moon dance, moon rise. You won't, so don't wait until the next full moon. You can see that whoever they have doing their SEO is really trying to connect to the right type of person, hopefully appearing in search. Now, another really cool thing though, and I hope that they have it turned on, is if you click follow, and assuming you haven't gone through your settings and deactivated this, which if you have, you need to go back in and reactivate it. If I were to follow Holzkern, please have it set up. Yes. So when I follow Holzkern, Instagram will now recommend similar brands to me, but in this case, they're recommending Bugatti shoes and major fancy brands because Holzkern are fancy watches. But let's say that I went and followed Heather, for example, I might see more, lamp work and glass artists pop up. Now, what that tells me, if I were to follow Heather and see more glass workers, is that Instagram knows that my account is related to glass. Similar that they know that Holzkern watches are potentially similar to all of these fancy shoes and bags and jewels and whatever all these super fancy companies are. They know that these are expensive, nice, high-end watches, and that if I was looking for an expensive, nice, high-end watch, I might also want a high-end handbag or something similar. Now, this helps in 2 ways. The first way is it helps you to understand what type of content Instagram is grouping you in with. So if we go to, we'll say, the last one I looked at, Gallivant Collective. Oh, I hope you have it turned on. Let's see, antique and vintage jewelry with history. You've got lots of pretty jewelry here. Let's see if it gives me some recommended. Yes, perfect. And look what it's recommending. More jewelry brands. Now, you might be saying, oh, but this is showing competitors. Like, I don't want my Instagram to show me competitors. But that also means that if someone were to follow one of these competitors, you're likely to show up in those related search. So if I followed here, you might be the next one in line. Does that make sense? Hey, that's me. So Instagram has identified, just through this little experiment, we can see that Instagram has quickly identified that you want to be known for not just jewelry, but it seems like all of these brands are very like natural jewelry, lots of gemstone jewelry. Looks like everything is very handmade. And I think that all of these, it tells me that you have sent strong signals to Instagram about what you want to be known for. So that's fantastic. And it means that if someone were to follow one of these jewelry artists, your account is more likely to pop up.
Yeah, never complain when you're seeing. I didn't even know Instagram did that, but that is so cool to say they get you, but also there's thousands of other people that people can be following. But if you're so nicely niched down that Instagram understands, when they find one of the competitors that really gets your audience, then Instagram's going to suggest you to them. So, and these people might have spent a whole ton of money on finding their customers, and then
Exactly.
Instagram's going to send them to you. So it's fantastic.
Exactly. Exactly. I think I'll stop sharing for now and we'll open up for some questions, but I might end up coming back to share in a minute if I need to.
Yeah, we've got a few.
Ooh, Pam, are you doing questions today and I'm answering them?
Yay!
We
I will. Oh, if I miss anyone, just repeat them. Starla's much better at this. So Jennifer's asking, how would you incorporate digital items into this strategy of the beautiful photos that we just saw?
I think it entirely depends on what the digital item is. Is it decor that is being printed and hung on the wall? Then you should print some out and hang it on the wall. Show how it prints. Show yourself putting it in a frame. Show yourself hanging it on the wall. And if all of that is too much, then maybe Instagram isn't the platform. Maybe it's Pinterest that's the platform, for example. If it is coloring
that would
pages,
work everywhere, though.
yeah, that's true.
And see, a daft little trick you can do if you've got like a spare room or wherever you're taking your pictures, paint a couple of walls in different colors, dress them up slightly differently so you can hang something there and then turn around and hang it up in the next place.
Yeah.
And you've suddenly got totally different things. It is, yes, you can do it all in mock-ups, you can edit things, but staging a room a little bit is so much easier for really cool pictures.
Well, not to mention, I mean, do you see this here? These right here, this is a fake wall. We made this so we would have a nice place for filming videos. And these are just big pieces of wood. There's always, everything is figure outable. If your space is not ideal, you likely either have someone who has a space that's ideal, someone in your family. Can I borrow your pretty wall? Can we take your family photo down just long enough for me to hang the thing on the wall? Or, you can mock something up yourself, like Pam said. But, like I said, it really depends on what type of digital product is. If it's coloring pages, then, sit down with all your pretty colors and sit and color the coloring page. Feel free to get a little bit more specific, though. But,
tell us what it is. But
yeah,
everything, your digital things have to be used somehow in the real world. So show how they're used in the real world. Show how you created them. I mean, even people do love seeing pictures of you doodling on your tablet or something. Go climb a mountain, sit out on a rock, doodle your designs from nature or something.
I make party templates like baby shower games, welcome signs, and decorations. Then don't make your Instagram about the items. Incorporate the items into a bigger message. Advertise yourself as being Jennifer the party planner. And Jennifer teaches you tips and tricks on how to have cost-effective parties that stun the crowd. And you share things like your templates, which are easily editable and they save money. But also, you could balance it with some tips and things. A great example of this, I will pull up. I knew I would come up with ideas after we stop sharing.
Of course. But Jennifer, have a party as well. Seriously, have some parties. Have
Make a
some
fake
fun.
party. It doesn't even have to be a real party. Just have a.
That's it. You can. The magic of cameras, you could make a very small part of your room a party. No one else has to know that the rest of the room isn't a party. Good to share.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to use Nicole, Mabel the Woodle. You guys probably have seen her a million times if you follow me on YouTube. But what I love about her is, yes, she does create products for pets, but she also gives tips about grooming dogs, and she will post cute photos of her, you know, puppies growing up. She will throw in funny, you know, funny little reels and stories that relate to her ideal target audience. But her brand as a whole is all about dogs. She is, to me, she's the dog lady. She's not the pet product lady. She's the dog lady who sells pet products. Be the party lady who also sells the party products. Give some tips, give some different ideas, you know, create some of those carousels. I was trying to find, she had some really great examples of different carousels. But all of these accounts that I'm showing off today, like, go follow them and study what they're doing, even if they're not in your ideal target, you know, or you know, in a totally different niche than you. This is also another great idea for photos, is showing your stuff all packed up or packing in order.
Yeah, people love that. But yeah, talk to who your customer is. So you want people who love dogs. This is perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah, her
There we
stuff's so
go.
much fun.
This is so simple. Anybody could do this. If you guys are dropping things off at the post office, just a little video showing people, like, this is how dedicated I am, you know? All right. I think I'm good. I will stop sharing. Boop. Okay.
Yep. So we've got Kat. I've got to go back up through these comments. Sorry, guys. But I sell knitting tools and project bags. Due to my disability, I don't like showing my hands in photos. Any idea of content that doesn't involve showing hands, please? Difficult, I know.
Is it your hands themselves, or like, is it something where you could turn, you know, some really cute gloves into part of your branding, like getting some like cute little like silk gloves in your branding color, and, you know, kind of doing the mysterious, like, you know, like Vanna White. Ooh, you know, that's always an option. I think that when it comes to, let's see, tools and project bags, there's a lot of life that comes from the use of our hands. I mean, obviously, if you've ever hurt your hand, or if, God forbid, you don't have any hands, then
The shape
you know
of
how.
her hands. Yeah.
Then I think that you could probably do something similar to what Pam does with her stop motions and things.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. Look at the fun editing styles. You can do either stop motion or quick cuts, where you could have the camera down and like drop things into frame without your hands ever being there. Or this is a harder one, but being on social media, we can be a bit more vulnerable. People might relate to you because they have problems as well. They might, you know, it's not part of your branding, but just be like,
they might be inspired.
Okay. And to be perfectly honest, have you met a knitter that hasn't damaged their hands? The arthritis on my mum's hands are getting worse. You know, I'm afraid knitting's tough on your hands, so I think knitters might understand that. But there's plenty of things, and yeah, stop motion is great fun to do with stuff, and it's really easy. I've actually done stop motion, like put it into Canva and made it work. You can do it in Canva. They don't have a setting for it. You just drop your photos into a video, speed it up, and you've got stop motion.
Oh yeah, there's so many apps. CapCut will do it. The new Edits app on Instagram will do it. There's all kinds of fun things.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, Kat, I'm hitting the wrong one, sorry. Disability action is something she's already on her Instagram, so if I'm brave enough, I could try it. Yeah, it takes a bit to get out there to start with, but I think once you're out there, you might find that, especially if you're already working for disability action, absolutely.
Oh yeah, because that's gonna, I mean, it makes you real. People don't follow perfect people. I mean, some people do, but most people want to follow real people. And, you know, I actually don't think that people follow perfect people, because, you know, I always thought that people followed like the perfect, you know, models and things. But then you look at reality TV shows about these models, and their life is just like it's always a big dramatic thing at all times. There's always crying, he broke up with me. And I'm like, okay, so they're not perfect. People don't like perfect people. People like people that they can relate to. And I think that, with reality TV, it makes you feel really good when you say, man, she's so beautiful, but her life is a mess. Like, I think it makes us feel better about ourselves. And when it comes to relating to, and I notice this a lot when I do videos on ADHD and anxiety and different neurodivergencies on my channel, I get more comments on those. I don't get as many viewers because, obviously it's going to appeal to a very specific type of person who's going to want to watch something about anxiety and ADHD and, different neurodivergencies. But what I notice is that I have a lot more people commenting and saying, like, I'm so glad that you posted this. Like, I am so glad to know that I'm not alone in feeling this. I thought I was the only one. So you never know. Moments of vulnerability make you more human, and what makes you human is what makes you likable.
Yeah. I don't know if this is gonna show up very well, but someone asked to see the stop motion. I don't have a good shot of it, but this might work. Are we actually sharing? We're sharing. So just about see that. Don't even ask how long that took. And then I found out that the camera wasn't in focus, but
CapCut might actually, because I actually found out yesterday, shows how behind I am. I just use CapCut for my normal edits, but I found out yesterday that in CapCut, maybe I can show it. Sometimes it'll focus on it. When you're in the CapCut app, there's a little button at the bottom of the screen called templates, and it will open up a feed of it'll open up a feed of just different videos. And then you can click use AI template or use template. There's a bunch of AI ones, but if you don't want to use AI, there's a bunch of regular ones. You can go through and use the template, and you can search for specific types of templates. So you could go in and search stop motion, and then it'll probably say, like, enter in, all your photos, and then it'll stop motion it for you. You only get so many free trials. I found that out yesterday when I was playing with a funny template and doing a bunch of videos of us flying in the air. And then it was like, you've used all of your free tries. I was like, oh crap. Well, I'm not going to pay for it. But you might be able, see, there's one of it's sunscreen spinning around, but they do have little templates that allow you to do stop motion.
Yeah, so it's definitely. See, ages ago, I bought a little turntable and I was making videos of that. And then I figured out that actually little janky stop motions, it's easier to do because you've already set up your lighting for photography, and it just looks more handmade. It's super easy. Just put your camera on a tripod, move your thing a tiny bit round in a circle, and it's not going to match. It's going to be a little janky, and it's going to be fun.
It's like the Tiny Chef. Did you follow the Tiny Chef? The little needle felted, like the little chef.
Oh yeah. I don't even know how they do that. That's amazing.
It's so smooth. Like his movements are so smooth. There's someone who does frogs, little knitted stop motion frogs, where she actually makes tiny knits of these little frogs, and they'll be like walking around their house and cooking little meals. But yeah, study some other stop motion creators.
Yeah. We've got from Nancy. I remembered to go back to the top of the chat. What do you think about advertising for Etsy on Instagram?
What do you mean?
I assume paying for Instagram adverts for your Etsy shop.
Just actually like paying for meta ads. Meta ads are going to span from all Meta. So you would be going into ideally your Meta Business Suite. I highly recommend doing it on desktop, not on mobile. Go into desktop because you have a lot more capabilities. Is it a good idea? It can be. I've wasted a lot of money on ads, and just because I didn't know how to do them correctly. And that's me. Like I feel like I'm relatively internet savvy, and I still struggle to make my ads do well. I'm actually having somebody on the eRank team coach me on doing effective ads because I am apparently very bad at it. So I think that there's a lot of different things that tie into whether or not it's going to help you. One of my students who has like grown and grown and grown, she's fantastic now. She makes like these leather journals. What is the name of her brand? Is it Forest 9? I constantly get ads. Yes, Forest 9. I constantly get ads, very targeted ads for her products. I'll put her website in. You would never even know that she's an Etsy seller because her stuff, her website and everything is so professional. But she is an example of somebody who does very, very fantastic ads that are clearly doing well for her. If you interact with her website, you might even start getting those ads on Meta, assuming that you haven't turned off your personalization. So maybe interact with her brand a little bit and then wait for some of her ads to pop up if you want to study them. But I think that she has some of the best ads that I've ever seen, just in terms of like how they look and how they're presented. There's a lot of different factors that are going to determine if it's worth it though. For her, yeah, it's worth it. But she's also got beautiful photos. She's clearly done a ton of research in how to, do her ads, which I think that's where I'm lacking. Is I was trying, it looks self-explanatory and then it's not. Like you think the whole time you think you know what you're doing because it's like, oh, you just fill this out. Okay. You just fill this out. Okay. And then by the end of it, you haven't made any progress. But she's clearly done her research. Her photos are beautiful. It's a combination. My photos were great when I was advertising, but I was clearly missing something in the process of actually running the ads. So you can't have like a great ad, but then not a great ad strategy, and vice versa. You can't have a great ad strategy and not have, great photos, because then you're putting a bad ad in front of a lot of people. Sugar Bear, go upstairs.
It's definitely tricky. And bear in mind, now we are competing against Etsy and Shein and Temu and Amazon and all these people that have big budgets. So it's always going to be a little expensive. Kat's got a great question there. I understand hashtags are no longer a thing, but what is the latest on Instagram SEO, please? I'm so out of date.
Still tossing a couple hashtags. Just, if the CEO of Instagram says that you should still do it, then do it. But he said that they don't have algorithmic weight, not like how they used to. So I mean, keyword optimization is really it. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, making sure that you're focusing more on the type of person. Because if Instagram is connecting a product to a person, they have to have data on both sides. On Etsy, it's easy to get that data because people are coming to Etsy to shop. But people are coming on Instagram to be social. So they're not giving they're not giving Instagram any feedback about the types of things they buy. They're talking about their lifestyles. They're talking about, what they're interested in and what they're passionate about. So you have to be able to speak the language of those shoppers, thinking about their passions and their interests and the language that they might use to describe themselves. That way, Instagram can tie you to that person. So if it is, vegan, for example, maybe you create products with vegan leather. Well, you want to make sure that you're utilizing vegan, maybe eco-friendly and terms like that, because they're going to be able to tie you. Those are words that could describe a person. A person can be vegan and eco-friendly. That would make a great connection. If you sell Christmas cards, though, a person is not a Christmas card. So it gets a little more complicated. Who would buy a Christmas card, though? Maybe, maybe mommy bloggers, for example, or momfluencers, or momtrepreneurs, or whatever new word that we're using to call moms now. Making sure that you're thinking about the ideal type of customer and then utilizing terms like that in your actual captions, which is, the thing that you post along with your photo.
Yeah, I think good SEO is kind of similar across a lot of places now, in that it's about using the right words in a human way in your descriptions or wherever you've got them. We've got the Geek Authority here. What do you think about posting one item a day different pieces and 3 reels featuring collections per week on Instagram as a strategy.
Anything is better than nothing. It's about maintaining what you're doing, not doing short bursts of content. If you think you can keep up with that forever and ever and ever, cool, do that. That seems like a lot of work starting out. Do what you're able to for a longer period of time. If you know that you have, 20 pieces of content, whether they be photos or reels, just making sure that you're utilizing an app to schedule those out ahead of time. That way you can set it and forget it. I recommend that everybody use a scheduler, because if you try to hold yourself responsible for just posting every single day on your own, you're going to fall off the wagon. Nobody's going to be able to keep up with posting every single day on their own. Nobody does. Everybody uses schedulers, and it frees up your time. Try it though. But remember, if you can't keep up with that, if that's going to end up being too much after a month, 2 months, 3 months, I would recommend doing less content as long as you can remain consistent. For example, I see YouTubers who will attempt to post videos every single day, and they'll burn themselves out, and then they won't post for months and months and months. For the last 4 years, I have posted 1 video and 1 live stream once a week. 1 video posts at 12:15 p.m. Eastern every single Tuesday. Friday being is noon Eastern every single Friday. And I've been doing that for so long that is what the algorithm comes to expect. That is a better strategy than posting every single day on any platform. This goes for any platform. It's about consistency, not frequency. Now, frequency is good. It is great to be frequent, especially on platforms like TikTok and Instagram, but build up to frequency. Frequency doesn't mean that you need to make a gazillion posts a day. Nobody's going to be able to get there, quickly. It takes a lot of time and practice and being able to adapt to that. So whatever you're capable of, but focus on being able to maintain what you're doing and keeping a good streak.
Yeah. If you think you can just post 1 item a day, perhaps schedule out 1 item every other day. And then once you've got a good backlog, go in and fill up the gaps. I know I would burn out very quickly on some of the schedules that people talk about.
What scheduler do you recommend for YouTube? I don't use a scheduler for YouTube. I just use YouTube's internal scheduler. I don't think there are there schedulers for YouTube.
You can Opus Clips or schedule out your shorts and things, but and that's all I've used, because I use Opus Clips to clip long form videos into shorts and things, so you can schedule it.
There's too many things that you have to do in YouTube Studio, like adding in, if you're planning, to put in chapters or adding in cards and things like that. You have to be in YouTube to do it, but YouTube has a scheduler. So
yeah. And YouTube's not, we'll get onto that next week, but YouTube's not really so much about the volume. You do, Starla has one of the biggest YouTube channels for an Etsy coach, and she posts 1 pre-recorded and 1 live stream a week. You do not need the volume like that.
But the consistency is what matters. And I mean, on Fridays, if we're not here, like last week, we were on vacation. We were in the deep woods on Friday. I pre-recorded the Friday bean and scheduled it and streamed the recording live, because I will not miss an upload. So again, when it comes to, and that's just me, if you break a leg or something, don't stress that your whole business model is going to end if you don't make that 1 post on that day, but make it manageable for that reason. That way, because accidents happen and things get busy, make it easier on yourself by starting small.
Absolutely. Vicky has asked, for those of us that sell prints, we're just showing wall art in the right setting on a wall, like full wall art with my autumn decor as a reel, make people feel connected even without showing me.
You don't need to be a part of it. Inspire them on, think about other brands that do something similar. Think about brands like Pottery Barn. I think that Pottery Barn is a great example, because they create a mood with home decor. Think about major brands that create a mood with home decor and see the type of content that they post. Out of curiosity, I'm going to pull up. I'll see what Pottery Barn. Let's see what they post. Pottery Barn.
We need to get a pottery barn over here because Starla's always on about it and it's not fair.
It's very expensive. I do not own any Pottery Barn items. It's very pretty. It's very expensive. Okay, I'm good.
Okay, Mark, there's a hint for you what to buy for Starla.
Not until I get a new house. So Pottery Barn, I feel like they do that as well. You know, they're not showing people. They're just showing well-styled homes. Talking about home trends. So maybe keep track of what colors are trending and talk about how your prints are part of that particular trend. Let's see. Yeah, they're just kind of showing their products, but they're making the videos look very nice. You know what I mean? They're putting a lot of time into the content and the quality of the videos and giving you ideas on how you could stage your home using their decor. Here's some prints back here. I thought that they had more prints. So I guess it really just depends on, you know, what spaces you have available to you, or if you're able to mock up some spaces. It gets hard though. I understand. It sounds like you have a really challenging product. And maybe this is something that you evolve into over time. Maybe it's something that you start off with, you know, not going full bore into Instagram, but maybe you have other things in your business that, you know, you focus on a little bit first and you work up to building that. Maybe every time you have a free minute, you know, get some photos or some videos, but you save them for a while until you have a nice big like backlog. When I'm photographing products, because I just started another business, I've done 2 photo shoots for this business and I have another one planned, but I've been batching out the content that from that single photo shoot now for like 3 months. I haven't shot anything new. I haven't recorded anything new. I'm just reusing the videos that I already had in different ways and adding different effects and things. So it's not, like I said, it's not something that you have to do every day, but consistency is really what matters. So deciding what consistent looks like to you, and then, you know, again, I would look at some competitors and see how they do their photos in reels.
Yeah. I wanted to get this one from Anna. Can we do that in CapCut? Make a still movie. So take a photo and make it a movie. You can. What Starla was showing you from that last Instagram, that was definitely movies. You can tell there's a big difference.
Yeah. Angles.
And yeah, exactly. That's how things change as you move. If you have a decent camera that can take decent pictures, it can take decent videos. And what you can do, what a lot of proper product video people do, slow down take a video moving, panning across the room, and then slow that down. That gets rid of any wobble or whatever and just makes it look cinematic. But you can make a photograph look like a video, zooming in and everything. A lot, Canva, CapCut, they'll do it quite reasonably easily. They have sort of plugins that'll do it. Whatever video editor you're in, like if you're using something more fancy, look into the Ken Burns effect, which is just zooming in on a video or a picture. Yeah, that's like, and that draws people in. But yeah,
most that on all my videos, it looks like I'm getting closer, and then it'll zoom back, and then it'll go closer, and then it'll zoom back.
Yep. That it's not so easy to do things how you want them to in something like CapCut or Canva, but you can do things. But with proper video editing, you can do loads of fancy things. That's why mine have less zooms than they used to, because I'm lazy and I'm using Canva, and I was using Adobe, which can do all the things, but makes my computer crash too often.
Well, in CapCut, you can use on desktop as well. My daughter exclusively uses CapCut on that. She makes weird, crazy videos with CapCut. I don't even know how she does some of the stuff she does, but it is possible if you would prefer to edit on a larger screen.
Wow, hang on, gotta pull. Ken Burns lives 10 minutes away from me. That is so cool. Yeah, Canva Match and Move creates cool effects. It absolutely does. Yeah. Canva has a whole load of things that'll do enough. It just frustrates me because there's times when you know exactly what you want it to do and it doesn't quite do it. And I could do this in Adobe, but it'll cause my computer to overheat.
Jennifer had said, I'm more of a story girl. What's your recommendation on the amount of times for those? Time as length, like the length of the story itself? Attention span on Instagram is about 7 seconds. I actually see with Reels that 7 seconds tends to be the sweet spot for those. With stories, you get a total of 15 seconds. Keeping in mind that stories, they're great, but they're only hitting the audience of people who are already following you. They're not being sent out into an algorithm and helping you to grow. It's a nurturing, method. So you're not going to get that algorithmic benefit and the benefit of that consistency like you would get from posting, to your actual profile, your actual grid. But stories, stories, you can do anything you want with the story. They're only there for 24 hours unless you save them to your highlights. And I think that that's great because it gives you the opportunity to show things that maybe aren't as pretty that you wouldn't show on your grid. Keep the pretty pictures for your grid, but if you want to show off your messy desk and maybe you put on there a little caption that says art isn't, or the process isn't always pretty, but the result is beautiful, things like that.
Yeah.
That way someone doesn't just approach, come to your profile and see that messy space and be like, there's some context there.
And it's the way to build your community and talk to your biggest fans. So do it as that. That's the way to be like, hey, secret people, we're only going to see this for a day. You're exactly. My special followers.
All right. Well, it is 4:00 on the dot. It looks like things have quieted down a bit. I've got a meeting with Anthony now. So
but he's supposed to be on holiday while building a kitchen, but
oh, well, maybe it's just with Craig. I don't know. I think it's with both of them. Either way, guys, thanks so much for hanging out. I appreciate you all. I do have over at handmadealphaacademy.com. I do have my 30-day Instagram challenge kit. It's a good schedule to follow if you don't really know where to start and you want to start building up consistency. Right now is the time when you want to start training the Instagram algorithm and getting your audience expectant of the content if you want to optimize your marketing for the holiday season. If you're planning on doing the 30-day Instagram challenge kit, that's just a 30-day sprint that tells you exactly what to post and when on your Instagram account, whether you're posting a reel or, a static photo. I would recommend starting that as soon as possible and trying to maintain. You can always redo the 30 days. That can be your forever schedule. It just gives you a decent baseline of what you should post, when you should post it, how frequently you should post. That way you can start building up towards more engagement. But if you were to start that now, you would technically be on track for, more followers for the holiday season, because that's all what the challenge is about, is building up your follower count. So feel free to check that out. It's totally free. Comes with a bunch of printables and things like that.
Yeah, and let us know how you get on with that as well. Totally cool. Yeah. And guys, next week we will be diving into YouTube. So before you all run away and get scared of that, I know it's not as sexy sounding as Pinterest and Instagram, but at least come along and give me the first 10 minutes for me to explain to you why YouTube is actually great. And if I haven't sold you, you can leave and we'll see the numbers crash after the first 10 minutes. But yeah, guys, thank you again for joining us. And yeah, have a great summer of social, and hope your Instagram is now inspired and it's going to do great. Okay, thanks so much, Starla.
Bye, guys.
Okay.
It wasn't easy.